Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 62 of the Let's Play world. We're going to start right off by taking one thing off the wall, and that is skeleton grinder. So I spent a little time between episodes working on the skeleton farm and trying to automate it into a mob grinder. So let me show you what I've done here. Much more presentable down here. Put some real lights and that sort of thing. Cleaned up some of the deep slate blocks. And you'll notice there's a switch on the side here. Behind this switch, in the wall, I made an etho hopper clock, and it's got about 30 items in it. And so what happens when I switch this is it releases the hopper clock. Right now it is frozen because it's receiving power. But when I flip the switch, the stuff will start flowing back and forth in the clock. And the way it looks, some skeletons now, the skeletons will come and they'll drop down into this area here. And when I flip this, those guys get crushed. There's a piston that moves a block across, and it squishes them. And 30 items in the clock seems to be just enough to finish them off. Then it'll retract. Any skeletons that are getting washed down will get fed into this space here, and then it just repeats over and over. So I AFK'd over here for a little bit, and as you can see, we are getting tons of bones, tons of arrows. So I think we're going to be all good on the bone meal front. Second thing I want to do is just say hello to all my new subscribers. I know I don't have a ton still, but the way the channel is growing is really, really promising. I've picked up quite a few, and I've got a ton of great feedback and some really cool comments. So I thank you so much and really, really appreciate it. Also last week, I opened up a Discord channel. The link is in the description if you want to pop in there. And that way, besides the comment section, we have somewhere where we can chat, or you can give me feedback and ideas and suggestions. So yeah, feel free to join up. So I've been thinking a lot about our village and our city project, and I have some really cool ideas that I'm very, very excited to get to. Today, I think we'll add a little bit more to our village. And then the other thing I wanted to do is maybe flesh out a little bit of our street network a little bit. Something else I've been meaning to do is light up this path here. Not sure exactly how far to space things out. I think I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. I don't know if you guys watched my video on the new 1.18 snapshot, but one of the new things that they've added in to the snapshot is that mobs won't spawn anywhere where there is light. So don't even have to worry about light level 7. If there's any light at all, no mobs, and that's just going to be amazing for lighting up builds. There we go. A little bit better than it was before. Not completely spawn-proof, but a lot safer than it was. So there's our builds from last week, and oh, getting a little bit of oxidation up there. That's very cool. Very exciting. So this week, I think I want to add a building here, kind of at the end of this street, and then a building here across the street from this build. That's 2 more buildings added to the village. So the first one I did is up on the left here, and it's a little bigger than the rest. I wanted it to look kind of like a little bit more fancy of a house. Has a nice big porch. I used some calcite to kind of make it look a little bit more decorative. And then this really, really nice kind of ranch-style roof here. The windows are kind of interesting on this one. It's actually a pretty small building inside, so to make things kind of even, the windows are spaced in a really unusual way, and it looks pretty good all the way around. Across the street here, I did a building in brick. Used some spruce and some oak. Nice big porch. Lots of little details with the buttons and the slabs, that sort of thing. Instead of windows, I did a mix of fences and trapdoors, and I think that looks pretty cool. And then I did a little bit of a weird scoop on the roof, again, just to make it look a little bit different than everything else. From this side, things are looking really good, and it's definitely kind of filling out. You know, once we get more buildings on this corner here, it's really starting to look, you know, like a little village. It's really, really cool. So the next thing I want to do is I want to figure out the layout for our roads a little bit, and then I'm going to reveal the next project that we're going to work on. Yeah, I know it feels like we've already got a lot going on, but this new project will fit in with the village and city really well. So a few episodes ago, I showed you guys this little itty-bitty model of some of the skyscrapers that I wanted to build. And this is our main drag here. And as you can see, we get 1 cross street, 2 cross streets, 3 cross streets. So what I want to do is I want to lay out where the skyscrapers are going to be. And I've done a little bit of math to figure out how big the base of each of these is going to be. And that'll help inform where the streets are going to go. So let me do a little bit of work on that. Well, I got all of the footprints of the skyscrapers in, and I had to make some adjustments. You know, I want there to be some sidewalks around the skyscrapers, but because some of them are odd-numbered widths and some are even-numbered widths, the sidewalks are going to be quite varied. So I'm not sure whether to make the streets, you know, stagger, or whether to keep the grid intact and maybe just have different sized sidewalks. We'll figure that out once we get there. Now, I had to make some other adjustments. Let me show you how that worked. I rearranged the buildings just a little bit. So you can still see we have those same 5 skyscrapers. I just changed the order of a couple of them so that they kind of fit a little better. And then I kind of counted everything out, and this is actually the entire project. So if you can imagine, this right here is the bridge into the village. And as you know, we have 2 blocks in the village, and then the main drag. And we're going to have about 5 blocks until we get into the city and into the skyscrapers. So these buildings here are going to be kind of transitional. They'll get into, you know, apartment buildings and businesses. And we can extend these off a little bit in each direction and, you know, fill some of this out. And then we'll get into some, you know, medium-sized skyscrapers and then the big ones. And then I had mentioned that we're going to start a new project. And that's going to be down here. And that new project is going to be the mob zoo. So I want to go around and start collecting all the different types of mobs, both the passive ones and the aggressive ones and all of that. I'm not sure whether just to make like glass cages and just put each mob in there, kind of like, you know, the collector from the MCU, or if we should have more like a traditional zoo and build little habitats and keep them in there. So let me know in the comments what you think we should do. Should we just have glass tubes with different mobs in them, or should we build, you know, different environments and keep the mobs in more of a natural sort of zoo? To wrap up, I just want to show you guys what the map looks like now. So here's our new additions to the village, a couple of buildings here, which look fantastic. And then you can see I started to add like kind of markings to show where the different blocks are going to be. So these streets will keep extending out. We'll get into this space here. We've got our 5 skyscrapers laid out here. And then this street here is going to lead down here. And this area is going to be our mob zoo. And that's where we're going to wrap this one up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you had fun. Please like and subscribe if you want to follow along on the adventure. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.